Welcome to Grounded is the New Sexy. This is a space for people who are tired of pushing and ready for their life and creativity to feel more alive. I'm Christy Little. I'm an artist and someone who's learned that clarity, creativity, and confidence don't come from forcing ourselves forward. They come from slowing down enough to feel what's actually true. Here, we talk about living and creating in a way that's grounded, embodied, and honest, without fixing, performing, or keeping up. If you've been craving more presence, more connection, and a rhythm that actually feels like yours, I'm really glad you're here. Hey, welcome back to Grounded is the New Sexy. I'm really glad you're here with me today. Let's just take one breath before we go anywhere. Just one. Feel where you're sitting right now. Feel the weight of your body. And just arrive here with me. Okay. So today I want to talk about something that I think most of us have never really had the language for, even though we've been living inside of it our entire lives. I want to talk about why so many of us are genuinely not here. Not checked out in like a dramatic way and not in a way like you're falling apart, but just slightly somewhere else. In our heads, in tomorrow, in the worry about whether we're doing enough or being enough or keeping up enough. And I want to offer something that I've come to understand slowly through my own body, through years of this work that just changed everything for me. Because that disconnection most of us feel from ourselves, it wasn't an accident. It was a strategy. And here's what I mean by that. Most of us grew up in environments, either in families or in schools, workplaces, cultures that had very clear messages about what was acceptable and what wasn't. Be productive, be logical, stay in control, figure it out, keep moving. And slowing down got labeled lazy. Feeling things got labeled weak or dramatic or too sensitive. Heard that a lot. Listening to your body, actually stopping to ask yourself what you need, got labeled as self-indulgent and impractical. A luxury you couldn't afford. And so we learned quickly and thoroughly the way children learn things that determined whether they're loved and accepted and safe. We learned to live from the neck up, to think our way through everything, to push through resistance, to manage our emotions rather than feel them, to keep going even when everything in us was asking to stop. And it did work. That's the thing. It genuinely worked. It's kept us functional, it kept us safe, it kept us accepted. Disconnecting from the body was a brilliant survival strategy. The problem is, most of us are still running it, long after the environment that required it has changed, long after we're no longer children who needed to adapt to survive. We're still living from the neck up, still pushing, still managing, still moving too fast to feel anything. And from that place, genuinely, physiologically, we cannot hear ourselves. not our intuition, not our real desires, not what we actually need or want or feel. Not because those things aren't there, but because we learned so thoroughly to live above them that we've forgotten they exist. And I want to be specific about what actually gets lost when we live this way, because I think most of us underestimate it. It's not just that life feels less enjoyable, though it does, and it's not just that we feel vaguely disconnected, though we do. When we're constantly living in survival mode and living from the neck up, living outside of our own bodies, our intuition goes quiet. That gut knowing, that clear yes or no that comes before the mind gets involved, we can't access it. We make decisions from fear or logic or other people's expectations instead, and we wonder why nothing feels quite right. Our creativity flattens, and not because we're not creative, but because genuine creative expression requires safety. It requires being present enough to feel something real and let it move through you. You can produce from survival mode, you can, but you can't genuinely create from it. Our relationships become performances, and we show up as the version of ourselves that seems acceptable rather than the real one. And we wonder why we feel lonely, even if we're surrounded by people. And our bodies, our actual physical bodies, start carrying the cost of it all in tension, in exhaustion, in low grade anxiety that's just become background noise. This is what living as a survival strategy actually costs. And most of us have been paying for it for so long, we've stopped noticing. So here's what I want to offer today. And I want to say it clearly without dressing it up or anything. Coming home to your body isn't a wellness trend. It isn't something you do when you have time for that kind of thing. It isn't a luxury or a reward when you've been being productive enough. It's the prerequisite for everything else, for hearing yourself, for genuine creativity, for real intuition, for relationships that feel true, for a life that actually feels like yours. The body is where all of that lives. It always has been. It's just that we were taught, and again, very effectively, that it wasn't safe to be there. And this is something really important about this whole conversation. Coming back to your body isn't just about learning a new practice. It isn't just about meditation or breath work or slowing down, though all of those things matter. It's about gently and gradually unlearning a very old belief. The belief that it's dangerous to stop. That if you slow down, something will fall apart. That feeling things will overwhelm you. That your body isn't trustworthy. That the only responsible way to exist is to stay in your head, stay in control, and keep moving. That belief kept you safe once. It made complete sense when you learned it. And it's no longer true. Your body has been waiting patiently this whole time. Not impatiently, not resentfully, just waiting. ready to be a home again whenever you're ready to come back. And that is not a small thing. That's actually everything. And I want to make this real rather than just feeling like something abstract, because I have lived this, and not as a concept, as an actual years long process of genuinely coming back into my own body after decades of living outside it. I was someone who performed my way through life, achieving, pleasing, keeping up, staying functional. I was really good at it, like really good at it. And I was exhausted in a way that went all the way down to my bones. The turning point wasn't dramatic. It wasn't one breakthrough moment. It was a gradual, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes quietly beautiful process of learning that it was actually safe to slow down, safe to feel, safe to trust what my body was telling me rather than overriding it with what I thought I should be doing. And what I found on the other side of that, what I'm still finding, because this isn't a destination, is that everything I was trying to reach by pushing harder was actually available through coming home. The creativity I was forcing started flowing naturally. The intuition I was second guessing became something I could actually trust. The sense of aliveness I was chasing through achievement started emerging, just being genuinely present. That's what I want for you. Not because I have it all figured out at all, but because I know this path from actually having walked it. And I want you to know, wherever you are right now, however long you've been running the survival strategy, your body hasn't given up on you. It's still here, still ready, and still waiting to be home. And I also want to add something in this conversation about repetition, because I have touched on some of these ideas before in this space, and I'm doing it again intentionally. Not because I think you weren't listening the first time, but because this is just how it actually works. Because we don't hear something once and have it land in our bodies permanently and it's locked in. We hear it and we recognize it intellectually at first, and maybe we feel it for a moment. And then life gets loud and the old pattern reasserts itself. And that's not failure, that's just how deeply these survival strategies are wired in. They took years to form, and they don't dissolve from a single conversation or a single practice or a single moment of clarity. They dissolve through repetition, through hearing same truth from different angles until one day it doesn't just make sense in your mind, it actually lives in your body. So if you've heard me say some version of this before, good. We're hearing it again. And just let it land somewhere new this time. And I want to share something personal about where I am with this right now. Because even now, after years of this work, even after genuinely coming home to myself in real ways, I'm still learning something. When inspiration strikes for me these days, and it has been striking, I do notice that old pull. I notice the urgency, the voice that says, ride this wave, move fast, get it all out before it disappears. And I am practicing something different now. Letting the flame burn slowly, creating and acting at a pace that actually feels sustainable. Not because the inspiration isn't real or the excitement isn't genuine, but because I've learned what happens when I sprint with it. I've burned through it too many times to keep pretending that's the only way. So now I'm learning to trust that the inspiration doesn't disappear if I don't exhaust myself chasing it. That a steady flame sustains longer than a flash. And that I can create from aliveness rather than urgency. That's still practice for me. It is. It's not about being perfect. But I know the difference now between genuine creative flow and the old survival strategy where excitement's close. And that distinction, that learning to feel the difference in your own body, that's part of coming home too. So I want to close today by guiding you through something real. This is not a technique, it's just an invitation to feel what we've been talking about in your actual body right now, wherever you are. So find a comfortable position, and if you're driving, please save this for later. And let your eyes close if that feels right, or just soften your gaze downward and just arrive here with me. Take one breath in through your nose and let it out slowly through your mouth. And again, breathing in and releasing. Let your body get a little heavier with each exhale. Not collapsing, just settling. Like you're remembering that the ground is there, holding you, and it has been this whole time. Now I want you to bring your attention to your body, just honestly, without judgments. Notice where you are right now. Is there anywhere that's braced, holding on, slightly armored? Maybe your jaw, shoulders, your chest, your belly. These places have been working hard, protecting you, keeping you ready. And right now, just for these few minutes, they can rest. With each exhale, let those places soften just a little, not forcing them, just giving them permission. You're safe here. Nothing needs to be figured out right now. Nothing needs to be managed or produced or kept together. Just this breath, just this moment, just this body that has been carrying you your whole life. Now bring attention to your chest, to the center of it, and just notice there's something steady there. something that has been beating your whole life without you having to manage it, without you having to earn it or justify it or keep it going through effort. Your body has been taking care of you this entire time, even when you forgot to take care of it, even when you were living somewhere above it in worry and the planning and the keeping up. It was here, waiting, patience. Let yourself feel that for a moment, not as an idea, but as something real in your actual chest right now. And I want to offer you something simple. The life you're genuinely longing for, the creativity, the clarity, the sense of knowing yourself and trusting yourself and actually being here for your own life isn't somewhere else. It isn't on the other side of more achievements or more figuring out. It lives here, in this body, in this breath, in this moment of actually being present in your own life. You don't have to earn your way back to yourself. You just have to keep returning again and again, as many times as it takes. And every time you come back to your body, to your breath, to this quiet underneath the noise, you're not starting over. You're going deeper. You're making the pathway home more familiar. Until one day, just quietly, you realize you've stopped running the old strategy. Not because you forced yourself out of it, but because you finally feel safe enough not to need it anymore. Take one last full breath in and release it completely. Wiggle your fingers, feel your feet. Let your eyes open slowly when you're ready. Welcome back. This whole conversation is really why I created the Luminous Sanctuary space on Substack. To be a space to enter and practice connecting with yourself, reconnecting with yourself in a real way as many times as you need to, and to be a space to return to practice stillness, to practice reconnecting with yourself, and really anchor in this energy. It feels so freeing. Its survival strategy is so heavy, it's so tense, and every time I fall back into that and try to create and work from that space, it just feels so much harder. Everything feels harder and heavier. And usually that creativity or that part of myself that I'm expressing or working in the moment is so diluted in that space. And that's why I created this podcast. That's why I created a further space to enter whenever you need it. because my life, my joy, the way I interact with people, even the goals that I have, and the way and what I am creating in this moment is more me than I have ever felt in my life. Because there's always been a part of my creation where I have been in a performative state until this time, looking for the external to partly fuel the creativity and fuel me and fuel the joy. And again, while that's learned, the unlearning of that is so freeing and it really is more enjoyable. So if you haven't checked out the Luminous Sanctuary on Substack, I will link it in the show notes. There's a free space, there's a paid inner space for deeper practices and far more practices to choose from. And otherwise, just thank you so much for being here with me today, for slowing down with me, for being willing to feel something real. If this landed for you, feel free to share it with someone who needs permission to come home to themselves. And again, if you want to go deeper, the sanctuary is there. And I will see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself. And you deserve that. Thank you for being here with me. Before you go, I want to invite you to take a slow breath, just one, and notice how your body feels right now. That feeling, that settling, that opening, that's the real work. If this episode resonated with you, if it softened something, sparked something, or simply helped you feel a little more alive, I'd love for you to stay connected. You can subscribe to Grounded is the New Sexy wherever you're listening so these conversations find you when you need them. And if you feel called, sharing this episode with someone you love is one of the most meaningful ways to support this work. These conversations tend to reach people right when they're ready. If you'd like to go deeper, you can find me in the Luminous Sanctuary, my space on Substack, where I share reflections, practices, and transmissions for living and creating from a more grounded, embodied place. There's a free space to enter and deeper layers if and when you're ready. You can also explore my artwork and any current offerings at ChristyLittleArtist.com, where everything I create lives as an extension of this same frequency. Slow, intentional, alive. All the links are waiting for you in the show notes. And thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up for your life in this way. And until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and keep coming alive. There's something I want to offer you, especially if life has felt loud, demanding, or just a little bit too much lately. I've created a free meditation called A Still Place You Can Trust. It's not about fixing yourself. It's not about calming your mind or getting anywhere. It's simply a place to pause. This meditation gently guides you back into a sense of being held by your body, by the moment, by something quieter underneath all the effort. You don't need to know how to meditate. You don't need to do it right. You You don't even need to relax. It's designed to meet you exactly as you are. Tired, uncertain, open, guarded. All of it's welcome. People have told me it feels like remembering something they didn't realize they'd forgotten. A kind of stillness that doesn't ask anything from them. If that sounds like something your nervous system might need right now, you can find a still place you can trust through the link in the show notes. It's free, it's gentle, and it's there whenever you need somewhere quiet to land.